was at one of the green belt challenges where I was there just to have a fight. Like, it was like barely when I started boxing, and I ended up not getting a fight. But I've seen all of these amateur. My first time ever seeing the belt was a girl named Heaven Garcia winning it, and I saw it and I was like, that is such a beautiful belt. Like, my cousin also has a little one, and I was like, one day I want to get the big one. I want to get the big one. So now here I am. I have the big one, and it's just like such an amazing feeling. I started off playing soccer. I played soccer since I was 7, and then 12 I stopped. So 5 years. Like all of my sisters played. We were just like a soccer family until my dad started talking to me about my uncles and what they accomplished in boxing, and like that just sparked my interest in wanting to try boxing because I'm so competitive. Like, I'm also very aggressive too. I was like the most aggressive soccer player out of my sisters, and I just wanted to try boxing, try it out, and then I ended up really liking it, and it's my passion and I want to pursue it. So that's how I got started in boxing, and now 5 years later I have all of these belts, and it's such an amazing feeling.
Go ahead, Becca, take over.
We are, well, it's we see at the shows, at the tournaments, the families come with the kids. Now in professional, there's a lot of fathers that are in the corner of the fighters. How was your involvement in her career as a boxer?
Well, my involvement is, when I'm training her, I'm her coach. I'm not her father. I train her the same way I would train her if I was training a boy. I know all the sacrifices and dedication and hard work that goes in to being a boxer. Even though I didn't have such a good trajectory in the sport of boxing like my brothers did, I was well aware of all the necessities and all the requirements that you need and traits that you need as a boxer to be successful. And that's something that I had to make clear with Chantel when she first started training, was like, this is 6 days a week now, running, strength and conditioning, training, all that stuff is something that has to be implemented in our regimen to be successful. It's a huge honor for her to continue the family legacy. So many boxers that the family has produced, started with us. We were the pioneers of the family that started boxing. My brother Carlos, Jose, myself, and then the next wave of boxers came in, which was Jonathan Navarro and then David Navarro. And then they did their thing in the sport, and their father is my cousin, first cousin. And then to see everything, and then of course Steven, which is, the family's pride and joy right now, because he's just phenomenal. And then for everything to transcend now and transition through a young lady, through the family, she's the first Navarro boxer, female boxer in the family. It's an amazing feeling, and she tells me that it's a huge honor for her to carry the females on her back for the family and be able to step in the ring and represent for them.
So my dad made like a little home gym, like a little DIY home gym at our house, in our garage. Like, he drilled in some like hooks so we can hang on the bag, so we can hang the double N, and we would just work mitts down there. And then I run at like a local park near my house, and then we also run at Griffith Park too. So yeah, that's how we started training.
And we sparred, but I had to wear the body shield and.
Wait, you and her sport?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
for her to get the feel
Like
and stuff.
sparring.
Yeah, that's correct. But I had to wear the body shield and of course the headgear with the bar. Her drive and motivation was always training and competing and getting better. And when she finally got the chance to represent her country internationally, that went down the drain. And we were supposed to take 2 international trips, one to Poland and one to Germany to represent her country. And, she worked all these years to get to that point. And, then that was ripped away. And I didn't stop to think about that, how she's feeling. I just started like, look, we just got to keep training. All these athletes are going through the same thing. We just got to keep pushing. And, you know, I wasn't getting through to her, and you know, finally, little by little, I had people like reaching out to her, talking to her, like my brothers, Tom, Steven, my cousin Cuco, just to, you know, give her words of wisdom and motivation. And, you know, we got through those rough waters, and now we're back on track. Now she's the 119-pound youth national champion, and, everything is back to getting better and to competing, and that's an amazing feeling.
I competed last weekend in Montana. Montana is so beautiful. That's the first time I've ever been there. It's so beautiful. There's so many mountains, so much greenery and everything. But my opponent that I fought, her name is Rihanna Brush, and she knows how to fight southpaw and orthodox. So but my last training camp, I have been working on how to fight southpaw, so it wasn't really anything different for me, but she was mostly orthodox. It was a tough fight. There was many punches thrown, but I got lucky enough to get out with the victory. So it's just, to me, I don't feel like professionals should be in the Olympics, more amateurs, because they already have that professional feel of everything. So I feel like amateurs should only be able to compete in the Olympics. Well, my love for the sport keeps me going. If I didn't love the sport, I really wouldn't be doing it. And I feel like what motivates me a lot is my family, but other than that, it's just my love for the sport and what I want to do, what I want to accomplish, and I just keep on working towards it, keep on working hard.
Who's your favorite fighter?
My favorite fighter right now is Canelo, because he's just so good, and then also Lomachenko too.
Lomachenko?
Yeah.
And what about any of the women champions?
I would say Cecilia Brækhus. She's just a really good fighter, and I've met her, and she's given me some pointers on my style and stuff, different types of pointers. I actually trained with her in Big Bear too. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You sparred with her and stuff?
Well, not sparred with her. We just moved around in the ring. It wasn't real sparring. I just moved around with her in the ring, shadow boxing.
Oh, okay.
Well, I see a lot of talent in Chantel. I mean, she comes from, like Nacho said, she comes from a great boxing family, a lot of tradition. I actually managed Nacho and his brother Carlos when they turned professional in 1996.
Yes.
A few years ago. And so Nacho asked for my advice and opinion and guidance for Chantel now at such an early stage of her career, and with her dedication, just overall work ethic, whether it's in school, whether it's representing some of the companies that are interested in sponsoring her, representing WBC as an amateur champion now. I think she really has the entire package, and she's off to a great start with this with her first amateur title. I like to take what I've learned at the highest level of the game, like you said, with Triple G, with the Klitschko's, with some of the high-profile athletes, Cecilia Brækhus, and being able to use that and give Chantel and Nacho some guidance from the beginning of her career, and maybe avoid some of the mistakes that other fighters have gotten into, and just provide some guidance. We're working on some sponsorships and endorsements for Chantel, which would be great this early in her career. And Nacho's done a fantastic job, like you mentioned, with company with Alex Morgan. They did a documentary on her, and the Nike commercial that was played at the ESPYs. So she's really coming into her own in terms of representing not only her brand, but other brands that are interested in being associated with her.
Yeah.
Well, I think the future's wide open. If she continues to learn, not only on the national level, but Nacho has designs on the international experience as well. And then naturally the target would be 2024 Olympics and potentially 2028. She's already associated with LA 28. They wanted Chantel, because she's here based in Los Angeles, to also be an ambassador for the Olympic Games in 2028, Summer Games here in Los Angeles. So Those would be two great goals, and then naturally making a successful transition to the professionals if everything goes the right way in the amateurs.
Makes me feel good because finally my hard work is finally starting to pay off with all of these big companies that want to like promote my story and everything. So it was around the time where I wasn't like motivated to keep pursuing boxing, but she told me just to keep training, to keep working hard, to keep my head up mostly, because like I just wasn't motivated to start competing again. I was just like so sad about everything that had happened, and she just like told me to keep training and not to give up on what I'm doing. So
it was nice to see her. We brought her to Big Bear to meet Cecilia, and like she said, Cecilia showed her some training techniques. It's always great to see an established professional or established world champion at the highest level of the game give advice. I've seen Triple G do it a number of times, the Klitschko's, and I saw Cecilia really have a big effect on Chantel, giving her advice of what she's gone through. And Cecilia had to go through, I mean, you know the story where she actually had to sneak out of her house to go train because it wasn't accepted, and her parents didn't want her to go into boxing, and it wasn't accepted for female boxers at that time in Norway, and really made a lot of sacrifice and determination to go through with that. And I think that inspired Chantel quite a bit to be able to spend time with Cecilia, sit down with her, talk to her on a one-on-one basis, and I think that really helped out a lot, because a lot of athletes, amateur athletes, younger athletes, really were affected quite a bit with the pandemic. And you know, there's other performers that could have done things from their home or Zoom calls or whatever it is, but boxing, you need that competition, or sports, you need the competition, and it really affected the sports quite a bit.
That like it's tough. I know it's tough. But like with everything that had happened, like the pandemic and stuff, I went through it. I was super sad with everything that had happened. But it gets better, like it gets so much better, and I'm just happy that I was able to get through it, and that they will be able to get through it too, that there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
And they thrive on that because they train to get to that point, and then the next one, so it's understandable. Yeah. So yeah.
Is it tough to get a good competitive sparring here?
Yes,
I mean, for a girl.
Yes, because I fight like the girls that are here in LA. I fight like some of them at nationals, so we have to go far to get some sparring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And do you agree that Southern California is the best in the country?
Yes. There's a lot of talent here.
Yeah. Have you ever sparred any pros other than your dad?
Yes, I have a few times, but I like to do amateur sparring because it helps me a lot.
Because you're technical and it helps you in your tournaments.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you always get other girls to spar with you, or have you had to spar with boys also?
I've had to spar with boys, and it's kind of funny sparring with boys because sometimes I do get the best of them, and they just like try to go all out.
Well, we've seen a big change already in the structure. Numbers that Katie Taylor is earning and what Cecilia was earning. Crystal Shields is doing well. So you see the numbers changing quite a bit from what they were a number of years ago, and I think we'll see it increasing as well, or continuing to increase as the competition gets better, as the female stars show brighter. We saw in the UFC, we saw Ronda Rousey was earning more than all the guys at the time, and I think with the right champion, you really the financial structure is going to continue to change, and naturally it has to go by drawing power, and if you can sell tickets and TV ratings and things of that nature. But with the right stars that are coming into the game now, the right competition, building up rivalries. And the rivalries come as the more athletes that are going into female boxing, then I think by that time the economics will definitely change.
Well, a lot of people, a lot of people at my school think that I'm like really mean or something, but I'm like, if you come up to me, talk to me, I'm like really sweet, and I'll just have a conversation with you. And yeah, I'm also really goofy with my sisters, like people that interview me don't know that and stuff, but I am a really like fun person to be around, a lot of people tell me. So yeah, just not always goal oriented. I like to have fun too, so yeah. What's next is going to the training center. I haven't been there. I haven't seen what it's like, and I just excited to be able to see and get the experience.
In Colorado?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's your first time?
Yes.
Wow. I bet, and you're going alone?
No, my dad's gonna come.
Oh, you get to go?
I'm gonna go.
You're like,
I gotta pay for my own way, but I'll be there.
So that must be exciting.
Yeah.
And you'll be with some of your teammates that are already Team USA?
Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. That's really good. And you'll be over there for how long?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. Training.
Yes. I love having my dad as a coach because he knows how to like keep me on check and everything, but I don't know how these new trainers will be, but I'm excited to try new things to see how it will turn out. So.
No?
No, my dad has always been in my corner since day one, since I started training. He's always been my coach, and I just like having my dad as my coach.
Are you aware of the fact that a father can push too much? The son or the daughter?
Of course, I am well aware of that. And that's why I know how to hit that switch to become the trainer. You know, of course, you want to balance everything out as well too, right? You want to push them just enough to get results from them, but you also want to, you know, give them their kudos when they're doing something good, and some words of wisdom and motivation to keep them pushing. So I know how to hit the switch. So.
Yes, especially since my sisters were there, my mom was there to support me. Winning this belt is just extra motivation for me to just keep on working hard and get more opportunities like this.
You haven't shown the belt to the camera.
Yeah.
Well,
Did she sleep with it now?
oh yeah, I was about to say that. She slept with it. And I flew in her older sister, my daughter Pearl. I flew her in just to surprise her and her mom. They had no clue because last year she got me. She said, "Oh, I'm gonna go deposit some money." I was like, "All right, cool." So I stayed on the couch, you know, watching TV, knocked out. Doorbell went off. I answered, and it was my daughter. So I was surprised. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna get her back. I'm gonna get them back.
Yeah.
So I flew in my daughter Pearl last Friday, the day before her competition, and she surprised them, surprised her mom and her younger sister, and you know, I try to take them with us now, just so they could feel that support, and so they're not apart because they were always together ever since, you know, I always had them together.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing feeling to have the majority of them there. Some of them had to work and they couldn't make it out, but it was good to see her there. But yeah, she slept with that belt.
How was that surprise?
Well, we all started crying when my sister came into the room. I was so shocked. Like, at first I was like, wait, what? Like I opened the door and then, you could just see on my face on the camera, I was like that. And then I was like, Pearl! And then, yeah, my sister ran, my mom ran to her, and we just like had tears in our eyes because we missed my sister.
So I bet you wanted to perform really good the next day. And win.
When we do our next show here in Los Angeles, I already talked to Nacho about having Chantel compete in the show and hopefully defending her WBC Amateur title. So that would be in the works. Yeah, it'd be great for the fans to see a pro-am show where you see some of the talented, top talented amateurs rising in the ranks as well as the professionals.
Thank you once again, you guys, for giving Chantel this opportunity to represent a big legacy that Mr. Jose Sulaiman, que en paz descanse, started, and for her to be able to represent the green and gold with, again, so many champions that they've produced is just an honor for me as a father to be able to see her, and along with so many great amateurs like Heaven Garcia and so many other ones that have that belt, for her to be amongst those, it's I'm truly grateful and honored.